What's up, guys?
Hey.
We are back with another reaction.
Yes.
What are we doing today?
So after doing the Richmond, north of Richmond, I was like scrolling around on YouTube and this video popped up and I was like, oh, it's kind of like, I mean, I didn't watch it, but it kind of seems like it might be in the same vibe or same sentiment as that song. I could be wrong, but it's called Your America by Tom McDonald and Adam Calhoun. Again, let me preface this by saying I haven't looked anything up about this. I have no idea. I'm just going based off the name of the song.
Okay, so I don't know the song. I've never even heard of the song, but I can already tell you it's nothing like Richmond, North of Richmond. Like, not even close.
Okay.
So, Tom
Who wrote
McDonald,
Tom
they're
McDonald?
both white rappers
Okay.
who they're like very political. So it's funny. I've definitely heard
Oh,
some songs by Tom, like probably like a couple of years ago when he first started getting big. He's very big on YouTube. I don't know. I
okay.
use YouTube more than you do, so I see him a
Yes.
lot. He's all over YouTube. I think a lot of people do reactions to him.
Okay.
Adam Calhoun, I'm not as familiar with, but I think he's in a similar vein, which is why they're on the same song. He's like very pro America and, more like traditional values and stuff like that. So in that vein, I
Okay.
I get why you would associate these two
I mean,
songs.
well, you have to keep in mind that I don't know who Tom McDonald or Adam Calhoun are. I'm just going based off of the image of the video and then the title. I looked up absolutely nothing else. Like, if you're new here, this is how we do reactions. We don't actually watch the video first or learn about it because I think that's what a true reaction is.
Yeah,
And you might be used to watching videos of people who've watched the video multiple times and give you a fake reaction.
yeah. Which is why
Not
some
naming any names or calling anyone out, but I'm just saying we don't do that here.
yeah, which is why sometimes we'll go to show each other a song and the other one knows it, so it's more of a breakdown than a reaction.
Exactly.
Anyway, so I'd never heard this. I don't even think I knew about this. I do follow Tom McDonald on Twitter, so I didn't know that he released a new song, but
Isn't does he have the same name as that guy who was in SNL who died?
Norm McDonald, no.
Right.
No. Same last name, yes.
Yeah, that's why
You
I was
said
like,
last name, yes. I
yeah.
thought you said first name. I
Well,
don't.
same like name.
Yeah.
Never, but no.
All right. So yeah, this will be interesting. I've heard some of his music before. It's interesting.
I like know nothing. So I'm showing you the song, but like I don't know what's going on.
All right. So you do Ed.
Yes. So this video is sponsored by Carnivore Snacks. Carnivore Snacks is my absolute favorite meat snack ever and one of my favorite snacks ever. This is the bison sliders. It's one of their new flavors. It's only grass-fed bison and Redmond real salt. All of their meats are grass-fed and their pastures are regeneratively raised. Don't know what that means, but it's a good thing. So, yay, carnivore snacks. And they have multiple different types. They're all like eating meat potato chips, which is so absolutely delicious. And the sliders are my absolute favorite. The lamb sliders are actually my most favorite. And they also have a new Wagyu line, but you actually have to be a member. So definitely give them a shot, see how you like it, and then try the Wagyu because I am waiting to try the Wagyu as well. And you can use our coupon code with Smith for 15% off your first purchase, and the link is in the description below. Also, it's Joe Rogan's favorite snack, as seen right here. He really does eat them, really does love them, and he knows his meats. So definitely give it a shot. And we are also sponsored by SeatGeek, which is an awesome website to buy tickets for literally anything and everything. They have like all the same things that every other ticket website has, except you'll get a discount with this one. And you can get tickets for concerts, sporting events, comedians, like literally anything you can think of. And use our coupon code with Smith for $20 off your very first purchase. And the link is in the description below for that. And follow us on social media channels if you want to. And that's it. Okay.
So this isn't his official account, but this video was 3 days ago. So I'm guessing this is like a brand new song. I'm guessing. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I think I was seeing that it came out like 5 days ago or something like that. But yeah,
I'll actually be curious to see what you think about this because I love Eminem
Yeah.
And I know you don't love Eminem. You like Eminem. You don't
I
love
like
him.
certain songs by Eminem. I don't love everything by Eminem. Why do you bring up Eminem?
Well, he's another white rapper.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So
Actually,
this is
both of
rap.
them.
Like, I don't know why I missed that.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is rap.
Yeah, both of them are
Okay,
rappers.
so let's check it out.
They're screaming that they hate America and we're the reason. If you don't feel safe, then stop defunding the policemen. You calling us extremists cause our words have hurt your feelings, and we're sorry we can't hear you over the sound of our freedom. Y'all been filling up our classrooms with drag queens for kids. We think it's not appropriate, you tell us that it is. The complexities of gender and children won't ever mix when there's school shootings by women whose pronouns are him, his. I'm not Republican, but keep it 100, they making sense. The most destructive ideologies are coming from the left. I think Black Lives Matter, they think white lives matter less. And LGBTQ turned into WTF. Dear Democrats, I don't have nothing against the liberal, but the people representing you are communists and criminals. They've been starting World War III, we shipping missiles still. They don't want America great, they want it miserable. You can try to burn down the city, scream at the top of your lungs till you're dizzy. You can cancel everything and everybody in it, but it's not your America. You can burn the flag, get aggressive. You can wear a mask and pretend you're progressive. I got my First Amendment, don't forget I got the second. It's not your America. I'm hearing words.
Okay, that was actually easy to find the chorus and like where to pause. I like that.
Yeah.
Their voices are really nice. Let me just not talk about the lyrics for like 5 seconds
I don't
because I
know.
got some hate for like in our last video that we did of Oliver Anthony. That's his name, right? I guess we just didn't talk about his voice or
We did it at the
anything
end.
about the song. Yeah, we did at the end, but like no one, like who are we kidding? No one watches our videos till the end.
Yeah, so long.
But their voices are great. The beat is great.
So I couldn't tell if so I don't know enough about either of them to recognize them by voice. I can't tell if it's the same person that did that first verse and the chorus. I don't know.
I wouldn't know
I
either.
don't know. So I don't know who's who,
But let's break
what.
down these lyrics. I feel like these lyrics can definitely anger certain people for sure.
So what I will say is so this sounds good. Like I there's something, I don't know if it's a me thing. I get very like uncomfortable and I kind of cringe when I hear songs that I agree with politically. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. I feel like it's like forced. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what it is. It's something about me where I hear this. I'm like, you grabbing all the hot talking points and putting them into a song, and I don't know what it is, man. I don't. I get
I see what you mean. Like you think it's kind of like they're just looking for like a yeah, like oh yeah, like they're just looking for well,
not to imply that they don't believe it, because I'm sure they do believe it. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
It's just there's something weird about it with me, which is like a reason why I've never brought Tom McDonald to you. Do you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I don't know what it
Interest.
is. Let's go. I mean, let's break down the
Okay.
lyrics because you're gonna see I agree with almost everything he said.
They're screaming that they hate America and we're the reason. So there's not enough context here to know what they're talking about. Like who are they and why are we the reason? Or is it who's the reason? Okay, we have to keep going.
Hmm.
If you don't feel safe, then stop defunding the policemen. I mean, that really is no matter what side of the party line you're on, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, we all can agree that if your house were burning down or if someone were trying to murder you, you would call 911.
Hmm.
There's no one else who you would call. I mean, there are some people who would probably hit up their friend who had a gun, but no one's going to get to you as quickly as a policeman will, unless like your friend is your neighbor. I'm getting semantic here, but like we all call 911 when we're in trouble. So defunding the one people we run to when we're in trouble is a problem. I don't think we need to be defunding the police. I think we need to identify those select few who are racist and either fire them or provide training to all of them generally so they can be more in touch with like not being racist. But they're not all racist. Just like in every single career, there are racist people. In every single career, there are mean people. In every single career, there are nice people. Like, they're few and far between everywhere. But not all police are racist. I don't agree with that idea.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a bullshit. You could look at statistics, because the whole defund the police movement came on the heels of, George Floyd dying. And the implication was that this is like a nationwide, there's this police are going around hunting black people, which it's just not true. But,
I mean, there may be like, just like I said, like that select few who are super racist,
well,
because we can't deny there are racist people who exist.
Mhm.
It's just not as many as people make it out to be.
No, of course, it's infinitesimally small. And the crazy part is the George Floyd incident, regardless of how you feel, there's debate of how he died, the cause of death.
Which we're not going to
Separate
discuss.
separate that. There was no implication, even in the courtroom in that case against Derek Chauvin, that it was a racist crime. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It was
no,
just a
that's true.
bad cop. Do you know what I mean? Bad police work was the charge, not that he was racist. And they didn't
Like,
even
he would have
imply
done the same thing that he did, regardless of
who it
George
was.
Floyd's color,
Yeah, that's the implication.
which is unfortunate because someone had to die in that situation. But,
Yeah.
you know, moving on.
So there's today I just saw that in Minnesota, I believe it was, a whole police department just resigned,
See, like,
which
that's
is where I think the
scary.
George Floyd thing happened, didn't it? Oh yeah, because well, Kyle Rittenhouse was Wisconsin. Yeah, I think it was Minnesota.
Now, like, a whole police department, you're talking about, like,
The
that would
whole
just be like if our county just resigned.
yeah.
Who's gonna help you? Who's gonna come to your rescue? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What if you just got robbed? Who are you gonna call? Not Ghostbusters. Like, there's no one who's gonna be able to help you. You're gonna have to take matters into your own hands.
Yep.
That's so frightening. I would be terrified if my entire police department just resigned and walked out and there was no one
Yeah.
to protect
A
me.
small Minnesota city will soon be without its police force after the chief and several other officers all resigned, officials say.
Those poor people.
Yeah.
But okay. You're calling us extremists because our words have hurt your feelings. Again, that's been the narrative the narrative, I can't talk. That's been the narrative of the past few years where words are words can hurt you apparently. Like, we used to be taught when we were little, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. But now we're learning that words can hurt, which is so bad because they can't. You can call me whatever name you want to call me and I'll be fine. I promise. Might be a little upset, but I'll be fine. Like,
Yeah, the I forget, somebody I listened to was some political commentator, like podcaster. They pointed out that they use the phrase microaggression, right? Sounds obvious enough, but the word aggression is in it. So your words are an aggression towards somebody else, which means aggression is supposed to be met with aggression. You know, the whole libertarian philosophy is based around the non-aggression principle. You don't initiate violence or force onto otherwise peaceful people. So if you're implicating that somebody is being aggressive towards you, they're aggressing against you, then you have the right to aggress back against them.
which could be physical
Exactly.
or verbal.
Yeah.
But
It's
no one should ever get the green light to get physical against someone who was just verbal.
yeah, it's
Unless
so yeah, can civil unless it's a
you're a
threat.
police officer and you're threatening to kill someone, kill yourself, or you say bomb on
Well,
an
no,
airplane.
if anybody's threatening somebody, then all bets are off at that point.
Yeah. But yeah, no, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah. But yeah, this is it's true, you know what I mean? You're extremist because you don't like the rhetoric, just because you don't agree with it. It's and your feelings are
It's also
hurt
like
and
I feel like
sensitive.
this goes along with like, oh, like if someone identifies as like they, them, and you call them she, her, then like they're offended, like
Yeah,
things like that.
they kind of touch
Which,
on that here too.
oh, right, right, right. And we're sorry we can't hear you over the sound of our freedom. So I feel like that's a really interesting line because they're essentially saying like, oh, I'm sorry, like we're too busy enjoying our freedom and not letting all this shit get to us. And while you're just upset about everything.
So there's two things here. So it's a First Amendment claim, right? It's like, you're calling us extremists because our words hurt your feelings, but I'm sorry, we can't hear you over the sound of our freedom. We have a First Amendment right to say things even if they offend you, right? The other part is it's a nod at the conservative movie that was number one, The Sound of Freedom, about the child sex trafficking. So it's a little nod to that as well.
Did you see that someone who was in the production of that movie got
So apparently,
arrested for child
I did.
sex
Apparently, it
trafficking?
wasn't. It
Not
wasn't.
true.
No, no, no. It's so they did like they pooled money to fund it, and like one of the people that donated some money to it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, isn't that
Was a
ironic?
child sex offender. Well, I mean, it makes sense why he would do that. You know what I mean?
Guilt.
Not even probably just to cover the tracks. Like, oh, they won't expect me if I'm doing this.
Well, you just put yourself out there. Y'all been filling up our classrooms with drag queens for kids. Let me move on to the next line because I think it's also about that too. We think it's not appropriate. You tell us that it is. So, again, this is talking about like the drag queens with the kids, like having the kids at the like those there were like two performances or parades that went on where there were a bunch of drag queens like dressed very, let's say, provocatively
Hmm.
with young children. And then there was one where people were like naked. And I don't know. If a child is gay and grows up to be wanting to be like a drag queen, like that's totally fine. But I don't think that we should be exposing young children to things like this. Just like I wouldn't want a young boy at a strip club. I wouldn't want a young boy or a young girl at a drag queen show
Yeah.
if they're provocatively
Hmm.
dressed.
You know, it's inherently sexual. You know what I mean? The whole thing is about gender bending, you know what I mean?
Because like
And
they
like
have like stripper
sexual norms.
poles, things like that.
It's ridiculous. There's no need for it to be around kids, you know what I mean? Because
No, especially when they're so young that they don't even know like what sex is.
well, that's the thing, and they can't consent. They shouldn't be around it. And then the idea of so what was the exact
And
line
it
before
robs
it?
their childhood. That's the most important part. When you expose a child to things like this at such a young age, you end up robbing them of their childhood.
So they're being more specific. It says in classrooms with kids. So they're being very specific about the drag queen story hour, like in schools and shit.
I'm not even familiar with that.
I think there's been a handful of cases. It's not like an epidemic, but there is, been some cases of that. It's
So I
typically
will
like the public libraries were having it and shit.
so I will say that's odd, but if they're like dressed appropriately, that's not like
There's no
the
need. But no, there's no need for it. There's no need. It's an inherently sexual act, cross-dressing, drag. It's dealing with sexual. The whole point is that you're in the opposite sex's gender. Otherwise, it wouldn't be cross-dressing. It wouldn't be drag. It's an adult. It's an adult entertainment. You know what I mean? It's made for adults. There's no need to be doing that around kids. Just like
your
you said
point.
with strippers. You know
Oh
what I
yeah, no,
mean?
that's no.
No,
Okay. The complexities of gender and children won't ever mix. Again,
I can't
kids
understand it.
are too young. Kids know what gender is. They know what a boy and a girl is. We all know that. But they're too young to know if they identify with their own gender. And like when I was younger, when I was in about second grade, me and all of my friends, we thought it was cool to be super sporty and be tomboys. I would wear basketball shorts, a white wife beater. I would gel my hair back into a ponytail and I would put a little headband on. And if you looked at me, you would be like, nowadays, if I were in second grade like that in 2023, everyone would be telling my mother that I think I'm a boy. And I don't think I'm a boy. I don't want to be a boy. I never did. But maybe when I was in second grade, if you suggested that to me, I would have been so impressionable that I might have agreed with you. Who
Yeah, of
knows?
course.
It's not a decision that young children should be making.
No. I
No.
I even think he's saying the complexities of gender. I really don't think gender's even that complex, you know what I mean? Obviously there's a spectrum,
We've
there's
made it
there's
complex.
more and less feminine and masculine people, you know what I mean? But it's not that complex in reality.
But yeah, I think that if you want to have your gender changed, just like how we can drink alcohol, we can smoke cigarettes. I think you should wait till you're 18, make that decision once you're a legal adult, because hormones, things change. And so many people who've had gender reassignment surgery at young ages grow up and say they wish they never did it. And they're kind of unable to change back.
Well, this is the one area where, for some reason, psychos want to actually claim that children can consent. We don't let children drink. We don't let children get tattoos. We don't let children enter into contracts.
The second
They
you
can't
say
consent,
children can consent, that opens the door for pedophiles.
of
Because if
course.
a child can consent, then a pedophile is no longer a pedophile, then it's consensual.
Yeah,
And that's a huge problem.
yeah. We as a society recognize that children can't consent to much less important things. You know what I mean? Like if a child got a tattoo, I mean, it's not good. It's not the end of the world. But having permanent like surgery that's going to alter your ability to reproduce as an adult, like it's children can't
Especially
consent.
if the child is too immature to really know if that's what they want in the first place.
They can't consent to anything, you know what I mean?
No,
That they don't know
exactly.
anything.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. When there's school shootings by women whose pronouns are he, hims. So it's talking about that issue where that you probably know it better than I do.
What, that Nashville shooting, the Catholic school? Yeah, I think that's what he's referring to.
Yeah.
What's the next line though? Because I feel like,
I'm not Republican, but keep it 100. They make incense.
oh, never mind. That line, I thought it was like part of a more than one thought.
No, so let's just talking about the shooting where it was a woman who is transgender.
I forget which way it was.
It's a transgendered individual who shot up a
No, I
elementary
know, but
school.
was it a woman that was saying they were a man, or was it a man that was saying they were a woman? I don't
I
remember
think
which
it
way
was
it
a
went.
woman who was saying they were a man.
Yeah, I don't
I
remember.
think
Yeah.
that's why it was strange because women usually don't commit uh school shootings.
Yeah.
Very
Or
rare.
shootings at all in general.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not a Republican, but keep it 100. They making sense.
Okay. I mean, if you're not, you're definitely not a liberal. That's for sure.
No, I mean, the Republican Party sucks too, but I would agree that they make way more sense, especially these days, than the Democrats. You know what I mean?
I
Especially
agree.
when it comes to
Sorry, guys. I
war
do.
and everything else.
The most destructive ideologies are coming from the left, the progressive left mainly, 100%,
Yeah.
with everything that we just discussed prior.
Yeah, especially now. That's the crazy thing. When we were growing up, it was the right wing that was into war and stuff. You know what I mean? And the left wasn't. Like that's the one issue the left was very good on when we were growing up and before
Yeah,
we were born. It's like completely flipped. Now, don't get me wrong. There's tons of Republicans, like Mitch McConnell's a fucking war hawk. Lindsey Graham. There's a bunch of right Republican war hawks, but there's a very big anti-war base within the Republican Party now, which is very interesting. So
that is interesting. I
yeah.
didn't know about
So
that.
the war on top of, all the gender and the race and all that other shit, they do appear to be coming from the left.
Yeah. All right. I think Black Lives Matter. They think white lives matter less. So, yes, I agree. Black lives do matter, but also all lives matter. I
Hmm.
don't think anyone should ever be more important than another. I think we should all be equal, and I think we should all be happy and not treat each other as if we're unequal. I
Yeah.
think the road to recovery is to just act like we're all equal, and then we will be all equal. That's just my thoughts.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is like inherently with like like any like affirmative action, all that, it's inherently making people above or below or you know separate.
Well,
There's no way
yeah,
to move forward until everybody actually is equal into the eyes of the law. You know what I mean?
because it's offensive. Because affirmative action, it's like, oh, you're not going to be able to get in here based on your own merit. I better just let you in. It's like, what do you mean they can't get in there based on their own
I
merit?
know.
I'm sure they could,
And
but
then,
you're making this ridiculous.
well, yeah, and then they end up picking people that aren't qualified and they're put into schools and stuff that they don't do well in. It's not doing anybody favors. And I personally do think it is insulting to like minorities and black people and like, oh, you can't do this on your own in 2023 America,
Yeah.
where you're still being kept down, you know?
Because then there's a difference between anyone who's a minority who didn't get in based off of, oh God, why can't it, what's it called?
Affirmative action.
Yeah, based off of affirmative action, who actually got there based on their merit. And then there are people who got in there based on affirmative action. And it kind of downplays like the people who didn't meet that, their performance. Like, I feel like it
Yeah, no,
kind of,
there's a big problem, which it's keeping the separation of the races and the inequality going, because there's people that will see a professional in whatever it is, medical field, you know, like engineer. You'll see somebody as a minority, and some people are like, were they the best qualified, or were they just put in because of
because of
their
affirmative
race? Are they
action.
actually good at what they do? Would they have made it otherwise?
And
And
that's
then
like a,
people, it's not fair to that
yeah.
person, you know what I mean? And then it's categorizing a whole race or multiple races, just any non-white, and then people are thinking like, I wonder if they really deserve it, which again, it's not fair to the people who are just as qualified and deserve their positions, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because most of the people who do deserve to get into the Ivy League schools, they're all Asian. And they've been all, it's true. I don't care. I'm going to say it. They're all Asian. And they've all been like denied from going there when they have the grades and everything to prove it. And also, the good thing about affirmative action is hopefully it gets rid of all of the legacies, all of the spoiled white people who do not have the grades to get in there, who pay their way in there.
Yeah, so
Those need to go too because they're taking up a seat, and most of the time they're not as intelligent as their
whoever got
relatives who went there.
yeah, it's 2 points. You made a good point. Asians do are on the brunt more so
We
than
all
white
know
people
they're like the main,
with
they're the smartest. They
the
are.
affirmative action, and shit, there was something else I was gonna say. Oh yeah, there's already schools ever since affirmative action got shut down, which they just can't openly do it anymore. They'll find another way to do affirmative action without asking you. But they are looking to shut down the legacy emissions, which I think is cool, you know.
Yeah, because a lot of stupid legacies out there. I'm sorry, gotta say it.
All right, let's keep it. We're already a half hour in and we've
Hunter
only listened
Biden.
to a minute of this song.
Yes, that's not good.
Yeah.
And LGBTQ turned into WTF. Dear Democrats, I don't have nothing against a liberal, but the people representing you are communists and criminals. They've been starting World War III. We ship in missiles, still they don't want America. So it's really hard to follow the lyrics in
Because
this
it's one
video.
line, I know.
So LGBTQ turned into WTF because they're saying all of the new genders. They're like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And like, I mean, we can't deny that there's a lot
Yeah.
that have came up. Like, if you look at like the genders in the past, we just had two. Now we have like a lot more.
Well, and all these sexual preferences, it just stands for anybody that's not normal or heterosexual. You know what I mean? Anything that's not of the norm.
Yeah.
That's all it means.
And then they're saying nothing against liberals, but people representing them are communists and criminals.
Meaning the liberals, the Democrats that are in power.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we're shipping missiles, they're referring to, like I was just talking about before, the Democrats are, you know, into war now. They used to not
Which is
be.
interesting because that was not their thing. He goes, great, they want it miserable. You can try to burn down the city, scream at the top of your lungs till you're dizzy. You can cancel everything and everybody in it, but it's not your America. You can burn the flag, get aggressive. You can wear a mask and pretend you're progressive. I got my First Amendment. Don't forget, I got the Second. It's not your America. So he's saying he has his First Amendment. He's going to say whatever he wants. And then he's got his Second Amendment.
Yeah, I'm just looking over everything we read
Which, I
through.
always forget this one. I also am pregnant, so I have pregnancy brain. Which one is the right to bear arms?
The second.
That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Then how come everyone says defend the Fifth?
Huh?
Like they say like defend the Fifth. Like
Yes.
defend the Fifth Amendment.
I
What
don't-
is the Fifth?
I don't think I've ever heard that. Isn't the fifth like the right against search and seizures, I think? I don't know that defend the fifth. I don't even know what that
It's
is.
written on my the sweatshirt I got from
Yeah. The right to a jury trial when you're charged with a crime, protection against double jeopardy, protection against incrimination, the right to a fair trial, and protection against the taking of
That's so
property
weird.
by the government
Why?
without compensation.
My sweatshirt from DSI on the back, it says defend the Fifth.
I think it probably says the second.
It says the Fifth.
I don't know.
I don't either. But okay, let's play this song out because we have spent a lot of time dissecting these lyrics.
Yeah, so this is what I was saying. Like I agree with almost everything here, you know.
Me too. I do.
It's not your America. I'm hearing words I never heard in life. Kids go to school to learn, never make it back home, they get murdered like. Who's concerned? Not the left or the right. Hope you're ready for the fight. Coming to your front door tonight. The former president got arrested. The current one lost, but I guess he got elected. Kids get molested. Pedophiles all get protected. And you can kill a baby anytime if you're pregnant. People so weak, feel free to take a knee. And you can't even speak, God forbid you disagree. I don't even know what virtual signaling means. Young men used to fight wars, now they make memes. Divide us up, I'm pretty sure that's the plan. Got a gun in my hand for when shit hits the fan. And how the woman of the year is a man, I'm pretty sure I never really understand. You can try to burn down the city, scream at the top of your lungs till you're dizzy. You can cancel everything and everybody in it, but
Okay.
I'm like pregnant, so I don't like hearing about abortion.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Okay.
Okay.
it's not your America. You can burn the flag, get aggressive. You can wear a mask and pretend you're progressive. I got my First Amendment, don't forget I got the Second. It's not your America. You told us we're the ones to blame. You're the ones who riot till the city's up in flames. You told us we've been spreading lies, but you believe the truth is on the news every night. You told us we gotta stop the fighting, but you're the ones who keep the country angry and divided. You told us we're crazier than you, but all of our conspiracy theories are coming true. You can try to burn down the city, scream at the top of your lungs till you're dizzy. You can cancel everything and everybody in it, but it's not your America. You can burn the flag, get aggressive. You can wear a mask and pretend you're progressive. I got my First Amendment, don't forget I got the Second. It's not your America.
Okay. Yeah, sorry about crying. I'm pregnant, like I said before, so I think it just happens whenever you're pregnant. I'm also pro-life. I don't like hearing that people can just willingly kill their babies.
Yeah.
It just doesn't sit right with me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a baby. It's
Yeah, of
always a
course.
baby. Just because you decide it's a baby, like I'll never understand. If you want the baby, it's a baby. The second you get that positive pregnancy test, right? You tell your husband, "Oh my God, I'm pregnant." You don't wait until you can hear the heartbeat.
No.
You tell your husband immediately. You acknowledge that you're pregnant. You acknowledge that you're having a baby. So how come when you don't want the baby, then, oh, maybe it's not a baby? I don't get that.
Yeah, that's the most
I don't buy
disingenuous.
that.
That's the most disingenuous argument for abortion. You know what I mean? that's not.
It's just a baby when
bullshit.
you want it.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
It's always a baby. It just makes it easier for people to abort them by
Yeah,
thinking
of
that they're not
course.
babies. Which to each his own. You know, you do what you want to do. You do what you got to do. But I would never.
Yeah.
I could never. Where the fuck were we?
Oh no, they're like very early on.
Oh,
Click there, click. We got to see what it says.
okay. There it is. I'm hearing words I never heard in life. Kids go to school to learn, never make it back home. They get murdered. Like, who's concerned? Not the left or the right. So, yeah, with all the amount of school shootings going on, I mean, it's like you could go to school and that could very well be your last day.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's scary. When I was in school, when you were in school, we never had to practice for school shooters. We had to practice for fire drills. I never had to practice for a school shooter.
So this, believe it or not, is the one line of the song that I actually don't agree with.
I
I
think the right is concerned with school
no,
shooters, and I think the left
I
is
do
concerned with
too.
school shooters. They don't want to see children dying.
Nobody does. Exactly. That's going to be my point. Nobody wants children to die. So I don't buy that nobody's concerned. It's just like, you don't rush. The Democrats want to rush to make policy decisions to fix things.
They're looking at the wrong um they're trying to solve it the wrong way. Getting rid of guns is not going to stop a school shooter.
No, because it's already legal to shoot people.
And if we didn't have guns like in England, then there would just be school stabbings. Like,
well, no, there'd still be shootings because we have 300 million guns here already. Do you know what I mean? You could ban
not
them
everyone's going
tomorrow.
to give up their guns.
Yeah, it's criminals don't obey laws.
You don't realize how many people do have guns.
Yeah.
Like even in states where it's like, oh, no one has guns here. Like, trust me, we all have guns.
Yeah, it's the one line I actually don't agree with. I don't believe the left or the right are uncaring about kids dying in school. I think they both do. They have disagreements about the best way to handle that.
I'm sure there are some fucked up people on both sides who don't care, but just because there's always going to be a few fucked up people.
I don't even think so. I really don't.
Yeah.
But yeah. Unless his argument is that no one cares, meaning that nothing's getting done.
To do the right thing about it, because banning guns isn't going to stop it. We really need to work on mental health care because that's what does it. Because if someone doesn't have a gun, it'll be a knife. If someone doesn't have a knife, it'll be whatever they can find. They'll make a bomb. Like, it's not the weapon, it's the person. And if it's the person, it's their mental health. Something's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
We need to work on that. Hope you're ready for the fight coming to your front door tonight. So that's basically saying, like, if shit were to hit the fan and you needed to protect yourself and everyone else was pretty much like every man for himself, do you believe in the Second Amendment?
Well, yeah.
Are you able to protect yourself?
So I think he's saying like the culture war is here and you're in it whether you want to or not. You know what I mean? It's at your front door. You can't get away from it. It's in school. It's in the media. It's everywhere,
Yeah, that too. The former president got arrested. The current one lost, but I guess he got elected.
It's funny.
So it's funny that they say, I mean, I'll believe them if they're saying they're not Republican, they're not Republican, they're not conservative, that's fine. But that is a very conservative and Republican statement to make.
Yeah, it's for sure. Although there's libertarians that might say the same. So it's interesting. I heard
well, with the votes that came out of nowhere, we can't ignore that.
Well,
like that happened.
Regardless, even if you don't think that like ballots were changed, there's no denying
They
that
were found.
Well, no, even I'm saying set aside that the fact that they changed the election laws to allow mail-in voting and the fact that the Hunter Biden story was suppressed by the media and they've done polling. There was enough people. I think you only needed like 10,000 people over a few counties. There was enough people that were polled that were asked, if you heard about this Hunter Biden laptop story before the election, would you have voted for Trump instead of Biden? And there was enough people that would have done it. So in that way, the election was rigged, definitely, let alone the ballots and if they were legit.
Things went on with that election that were fishy. I mean, if you look it up, Snopes will debunk it till they're blue in the face, but there were fishy things. There were exit pollers not allowed inside from the other parties. Like
Yeah, it was sketchy.
it was a lot of shit was going on. Okay. Kids get molested, pedophiles all get protected, and you can kill a baby anytime if you're pregnant. So, yeah, they do. And unfortunately, for some reason, we are protecting pedophiles today. Go figure. I never would have thought that I would see the day where that would happen.
Yeah, we discussed this in one of our recent reactions. The fact that, Epstein and, Ghislaine Maxwell was his right-hand woman, and she was convicted of sex trafficking, but nobody was convicted of buying the children. So it's like she's sex trafficked to who? They're being protected. The names didn't even get leaked, let alone them being charged. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? It's just as illegal to buy a child as to sell them. You know what I mean?
And we touched on the abortion thing already.
And not for nothing, the people were the ones actually molesting them. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. Ghislaine Maxwell should be in jail.
Yeah.
And I think she actually
But there were
did
a bunch of
molest
people
them.
who should also be in jail with her who are not.
Yeah.
And also who are unnamed.
Yeah. Exactly.
So go figure. We probably shouldn't even be talking about it. Could be dangerous. People so weak feel free to take a knee, and you can't even speak. God forbid you disagree. So taking a knee during the Pledge of Allegiance, I believe, is what we're talking about here. Not supporting the country that you live in. Like, if you don't like it here so much, no one's keeping you here.
Mm-hmm.
And then can't even speak. God forbid you disagree. It's taken guts even to do this song, to review this song, and to say what's on my mind right now, because I know there are tons of you out there who are not going to agree with me and who are probably going to shit all over everything that I and everything that James has said. But
I don't care.
go for it. I don't even know what virtue signaling means.
It's funny.
Same. Oops. Young men used to fight wars. Now they make memes saying we're getting soft. We're not like the tough society that we once were.
It's true, and I agree. Although I do think there's a very strong value in memes. Like it's jokey and it's fun, but a lot of truth gets said in jest when like Twitter and stuff was like really locked down. You know what I mean? Like they were censoring stuff. Memes was the one thing that would usually, not always, those were blocked too sometimes. They would break through and you could get the truth out there in the form
Yeah,
of jest, of
it's
joking,
true. But I think he's also saying like just the fact that we're not
Of course, it's a very big difference. His points, I agree with his point. You know what
tough,
I mean?
big tough guys anymore. Like you walk
Everybody's
around, everyone's like a skinny little string bean or like overweight and miserable. No one's like strong, buff, manly. Like we don't have those manly men anymore. Testosterone has gone down.
everybody's been feminized, yeah.
Divide us up. I'm pretty sure that's the plan. Got a gun in my hand for when shit hits the fan. Same here.
Yeah. It's straightforward.
And how the fuck the woman of the year is a man, I'm pretty sure I'll never really understand. I mean, that is a freaking slap in the face.
Yeah, it is.
Especially like how many freaking honors are men gonna steal from us? Like there was just
crazy.
one school that finally banned transgenders joining the other genders sports teams.
Yeah.
Finally. Like let
So
the
what?
girls
Do
let the
their thing.
girls have their gold medals. Let them get into the schools they deserve to get into.
Yeah, it's like trite and it's like a hack joke at this point. But when Caitlyn Jenner was named Woman of the Year, she wasn't even a woman for a full year, which is, the joke was that she's better at being a woman than even women are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous.
It's unfortunate. You can try to burn down the city, scream at the top of your lungs till you're dizzy. This is the chorus again.
You could cancel everything. Oh, so we actually didn't really go over.
You can burn the flag, get aggressive. You can wear a mask and pretend you're progressive. So that's like referring to like Antifa, right?
Yeah, and I think it's a knock at like, oh, you call yourselves progressive, but you're not
Oh, you're
progressing.
hiding your face. Like you're like, I'm progressive, but like you're
Well-
not revealing your identity.
Well, and that your view of progress isn't progression. It's like, it's bad. You know what I mean? You're not
it's
heading
the
anywhere
opposite.
good. And then I got my
Degression.
First Amendment. So the freedom of speech. And
And the
then
Second Amendment, of course.
don't forget I got the second. So yeah.
Oh, shit. You told us we're the ones to blame, but you're the ones who riot. Again, towards the... See, it's funny because I'm like, who is us and who is they?
Yeah, if they're not identifying with
Yes.
Republicans or conservatives, yeah.
Till the city's up in flames, you told us we've been spreading lies, but you believe the truth is on the news every night. Yeah, no, the news, all the news is just biased.
Yeah,
I
they
don't
suck.
like any news for news. If I'm looking for news, I will literally go to, this is just a shout out to Jordan is my lawyer on TikTok because she's literally completely non-biased news. And I love her.
Well,
And
even
she's
that.
great.
Well, even that. So the thing is, like all the so with the exception of Fox and then ultimately CNN, who are blatantly right and left wing respectively, everybody else pretends that they're unbiased news. You know
But
what I
they
mean?
are biased.
Everybody, even whoever, I don't know who you're talking about, there's a bias in what you select to cover. Like that's a bias. Do you know what I
She's
mean?
actually really
That's
good.
no, but my point is
She's nonpartisan.
there's a bias in which stories you decide to cover and which stories you don't decide to cover. There's no way around it. So I think it's actually it's a more realistic thing to have people openly stating what their beliefs are because there's no way around it. There's no such thing as completely unbiased. Do you know what I mean? There's a selection bias for what stories you choose to cover, what you think is important, you know?
She just gives the facts, though. I like
Again,
her.
about the
She's
story, I'm not
good.
even shitting on her. I'm just saying there's, people claim just like the news networks to be just the news, but
Well, no, because
there's not.
obviously we all have an
And
opinion.
there's a bent to what type of stories. Do you know what I mean?
Unless you're like dead, unless you really think you're dead center independent, which I guarantee you you're not. You just don't really know enough. Everyone has an opinion on something.
Yeah.
You have to. If you don't, I don't think you're human.
Yeah.
You told us we got to stop the fighting, but you're the ones who keep the country angry and divided. You told us we're crazier than you, but all of our conspiracy theories are coming true. I mean, like aliens, hello. I've been telling him for years that aliens are real. And he's like, okay. But I'm like, they are. And look what happened.
I don't doubt that aliens are real. I'm not convinced that they're
They're
here
not
or
necessarily like
they've been
little green
here.
men, but I don't know. I just know that there's UFOs up there.
Yeah.
They are there.
And then, yeah, all of our conspiracy. So, yeah, a lot of them.
Obviously they're not just talking about aliens, but I'm talking about aliens.
Yeah.
You can try to burn down, and then it's the
Chorus.
chorus, and then it ends with the chorus, and that was a 47-minute reaction. Holy shit. I'm sorry, guys, but there was just a lot to cover in here.
Yeah.
But okay. So since I showed you the song, even though neither of us have heard it before, what do you think?
So I actually like it. So I was trying to figure out who was who because I don't
Oh,
know.
they both sound a lot alike to me. I couldn't identify a
So
different
Tom
voice.
McDonald was the beginning of the song,
Okay.
the very beginning, and then Adam Calhoun was the second half. I
So,
think
yeah.
I think Adam Calhoun was the sound of his voice was better. His delivery.
I guess I
It
was too
did.
fixated on the content.
Yeah. So it's a good song. So again, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about me. There's something that hits me odd. It hits me weird when I hear songs like this, even though I agree with almost all of it.
I know what
I'm
it
like,
is.
I don't know what it is. It makes me
I know what it
uncomfortable. I'm like
is.
kind of I feel cringe like listening to it. Like I don't know what it is.
It's like how much you hate clapter when we watch comedians. It's the
Yes,
same thing as that.
it
So
is.
if you don't know what that means, it's when all of a sudden you're watching a comedian, and all of a sudden they're not saying anything funny and they're sort of just preaching to the audience, and then everyone starts clapping,
Yes.
and that's
That's
clapter.
such a good point. That's exactly what it
So it's
is.
kind of just like that, but this is a rap song. So it's kind of like they're saying all of the talking points that you agree with, that you want to hear, and you're like, yes, more, more. But you're listening to a song, so it's not making sense to you because it's like, why is this happening in a song? Just like when you're at a
It's a
comedy
rap
special, you're like,
song.
why is this happening at a comedy special? And I get that.
It's a rap song too on top of it. But
Yeah.
with all that being said, this is a good song. You know what I mean?
No, it
It's
is.
catchy. It's, the content is obviously we agree with it,
I'm just wondering why they don't think they're Republican. I mean, do they at least think they're conservative? Because they've got a lot of conservative values based on just this one song I've heard from them.
So I don't know. I mean, there's a lot. There's more than
Maybe they're
Democrat.
afraid to say it. They don't want to shut out an
No, I don't
audience.
think so. Because
No?
I do think the Republicans the better of the two parties, but the Republican Party is so corrupt and
Okay.
inept, and they fucking don't do anything. They always claim vote for us, get us in office, and then nothing
Both
changes. Like,
sides do that.
exactly. That's my point,
I'd
though.
really be here for a libertarian in office, but they'd never get elected.
No,
Never, at least not in the next like 100 years.
they would have to do what Trump did, or you'd have to go through one of the two main parties, and then
But then
enact your policies
you're
from there.
essentially in that
Well,
party
then you're a
then.
target. Well, Trump completely changed the Republican Party. That whole war thing, that anti-war thing, was not a thing before Trump.
No.
The right wing was very pro-war, and Trump gave the right the permission to be against war. You
Yeah.
know?
But no, I think this is great. I think the message is great. And I think also, I guess I am wrong by saying that these are conservative values. If they aren't necessarily conservative values, it's great for them both to be pointing out that they are not Republican conservative values and they're values that everyone can have. And you shouldn't be ashamed if you have these values because they're just, at the end of the day, they are traditional values. Maybe they're religious values, what have you, but they're not extreme.
No.
And
You
I don't
know,
know. I feel like they're better for the country.
yeah, you're falling into the trap that the left is, where they hear somebody say something that they don't agree with you. Oh, you're a right winger. You know what I mean?
It's the media. It's poison.
I say that, I mean, I've said this to you. I can't think of an example right now, but there's things that have been ingrained in me since I was a kid that, like, as I'm older, I have to like reassess. I'm like, why? I don't really believe that, do I? And it's just like this inherent, it was ingrained in me through indoctrination, through public schools and the media and everything. I have to like check myself. I'm like, I don't actually believe that. I don't actually think that. Why is that in my brain that I think this way, or I think I believe this way? It's like propaganda. It's hard.
Yeah, it's just being a human,
Yeah.
really. But I mean, the conservatives do claim to have these values. I will tell you that.
Yes, that is true.
And you
So,
don't have to identify with the party, but like those are party values,
yeah,
believe it or not.
it's true. But there's people like
They're also libertarian values because well, not necessarily.
yeah.
Libertarian is freedom to do whatever the fuck you want to. So technically, having drag in schools, libertarian, freedom to do whatever you want
So
to.
it depends on the libertarian. Like Dave Smith
Well, if you're going to
would
get
say no.
super libertarian,
Not necessarily. So again, it
freedom to do
depends.
whatever you want to.
But again, it's so like you look at people who like Joe Rogan, like Elon Musk, like they're not conservative or right
No,
wingers,
but
but they would
there's
agree with shit like
levels to
this.
it.
Classical
Yeah.
liberals, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no. It's definitely not extreme in any one direction. It's sort of like common sense feelings.
But your point is well taken that it's not likely to hear any left winger saying these things these days. So,
No,
yeah.
no. They'd
But
be afraid of saying these
at
types
the
of
same time, it's not
things,
a binary. It's not
especially
just,
with the he, him, things like that.
yeah,
Yeah, no, they wouldn't.
yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah. So, this is great. Very long video. I
Yes.
apologize for that. But yeah. So, we'll see you guys soon. Check out Carnivore Snacks, SeatGeek, like and subscribe. Follow us on social media channels if you want to, and we'll see you guys soon.
Bye.